So are you gonna like get ready for the video?
I am ready.
Are you even wearing green?
Don't tell me how to live my life. Don't fucking pinch me. I will slap you. If you fucking pinch me, I will end you. Oh my god, if you try to pinch me, I will slap your face. Millennial Incantations. I'm David.
And I'm Siren.
And you're watching Millennial Incantations.
And this is our St. Patrick's Day special. Yes. The luncheon.
Yes.
Yes, girl.
Luncheon.
So we decided to do this video because I've always loved St. Patrick's Day ever since I was a kid. And last year, a pagan friend of mine told me that St. Patrick's Day is one of the most anti-pagan holidays there is. He had heard a myth that St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, and the snakes were actually symbolic of pagans. So he was telling me that celebrating St. Patrick's Day is celebrating the erasure and death of pagans. And I was like,
oh no. But how could such a fun holiday be like so mean?
yes.
Like you get to wear like bright stuff and drink and like,
Girl.
I don't really care because that's kind of just my daily thing. But so anyway, once I had heard about this, I didn't hear about snakes. I don't know anything about this. I don't follow snakes. I've never been to Ireland. I don't know anything about this. So I was like, you know what? Let's research.
Yeah, let's.
Cause like myths, legends, like that's not always history. Sometimes it's not always history.
So we're gonna be taking a look at St. Patrick and separating the myth from the history.
So let's dive in, okay? So like, let's imagine. It's like 400. The year 400?
The year 400.
Yeah, I don't know time. Give or take, probably give more than take, like 20 years maybe? I don't know, it's between 400 and some, at any rate. St. Patrick, born, wasn't a saint then. Anyway, he was born in Britain to like some sort of Roman, hold on. He was born in Britain to a Romanized family. And when he was like 16, he was kidnapped or whatever by Irish pirates.
Irish pirates. Whoa. So a little bit after that, like a year, a month or whatever, he escaped and he went back home. Like 6 years. So after like meh years, he goes back home after escaping from these pirates. And then he's there and he's like, I should totally go back to Ireland and be super Christian.
Yeah, like you escape captivity and then you find religion.
Yeah, so he goes back to Ireland and starts like building churches and trying to convert people and giving people presents, and everybody totally likes presents. And so all of these people practicing older religions in Ireland start converting to Christianity because of St. Patrick.
And that's basically it. Like, that's all he did. He just traveled around and was like, y'all like God? You don't know God? Let me show you God. Also, here's a present. Please don't murder me. That was basically his whole trip.
Yeah, and so instead of like driving the pagans out of Ireland and sort of like killing them and stuff, he was actually just like giving them presents and being like, you can check this out too. Nothing that St. Patrick did was like violent, like at all. He was like super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just like...
Stand-up guy.
Yeah.
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 Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. Your little mission trip. How cute.
Oh, I love that guy.
That's precious.
Yeah.
So, St. Patrick's Day, right? Around like, I don't know, 1600, Catholic Church was like, yo, that was divinely inspired. Let's like make St. Patrick's Day a thing.
Literally kind of 800 years later.
Was it 800? 400 plus 16 is 1,200 years.
1,200 years.
Math, y'all. What the is that?
So 1,200 years later, whatever.
They're like, let's make St. Patrick's Day like a thing. Let's have a feast day, a saint's day, because Catholics love saints' days.
And everybody loves a feast. Am I right?
All right.
This girl does.
So they were like, okay, let's make it a thing. And then it was a thing. And people just celebrated like they normally do on any sort of saint's day or feast day, where they just like eat stuff and hang out, have like a cute little block party, except it's like really old and no one has a phone.
Yeah.
So like that's all they did. And it wasn't like, St. Patrick's Day wasn't like a huge thing until Irish immigrants in America were like, yo, we kind of miss home. Like, let's have a party and let's make that party about St. Patrick, patron saint of Ireland.
And this had a lot of value to them, of course, because they were strangers in a strange land, and we all know how America can treat immigrants sometimes. Am I right? It's really great. So they had this festival that they would do every year to remind them of their culture and bind them all together and give them a feeling of home in Ireland, even though they were here in America.
So 1737 was the year where the first St. Patrick's Day parade occurred. And I'm pretty sure it was like Boston or something.
Oh, it was totally Boston.
So they were like, yo, we're politically connected. We have money. We have all this stuff and we're Irish. So let's like be proud about it and let's like spread it around. Let's have a freaking parade. And they did. And then like, a couple hundred years passed. And then like everyone else is like, yeah, totally. Let's also have a parade.
And the next thing you know, we're dumping green dye in the river.
Yeah, thanks,
That
Chicago.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Fun fact. St. Patrick associated with the color blue.
Up until sometime.
Up until the symbolism of the day overtook any of its original meaning.
Up until it became green in America.
Green in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've always loved about St. Patrick's Day is that all of the like festive elements of it have always seemed like so obviously pagan to me. And I think it's really interesting that in the case of this holiday, something that started as a genuine Catholic tradition that was a little bit or a lot of it about people not being pagan has evolved into something that today, to my eyes, looks very, very pagan. So let's go over some of the traditional elements of St. Patrick's Day in America.
So like, I've never really celebrated, except that I knew on St. Patrick's Day you wore green, otherwise people were allowed to touch you. I didn't like that.
To pinch you. And so to me, having to wear a specific color for protection, that speaks of color magic. Right? I mean, now traditionally you might wear something like white or black or blue to protect yourself, but on St. Patrick's Day, we're doing green. And that's fine. I mean, green is, well, it's something that I'm wearing right now, whether or not I should be.
It is indeed a thing you're doing.
Yep.
Also, shamrocks. How fun. This kind of evolved from a legend / partial truth that St. Patrick may have used the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity.
And you know who else loves the Holy Trinity? Some Wiccans.
Wiccans.
Maiden, Mother, Crone, Father, Son, and Sage. Am I right? Plus, a clover is traditionally associated with luck magic and prosperity magic. And you're literally searching for like this mythical herb that is supposed to bring you luck. Honey, that's witchcraft. I'm sorry.
Truth.
So, what is this mythical figure that you often see associated with St. Patrick's Day? A leprechaun. Now, you can interpret a leprechaun a couple of ways, but you're pretty much looking at it's either some kind of fairy creature or it's an earth elemental or earth spirit.
Who walks around and plays with probability and gives people good luck and bad luck, and people try to catch leprechauns and chase them down a rainbow and get gold, and I don't understand the ritual of that, but people like it, and apparently there's like a cereal, so like leprechauns are a big deal.
Either way, there's some kind of magical creature. And so the final thing is feasting and drinking. And now I know feasting and drinking is popular among most human civilizations that have ever existed. But if you've ever partied with some pagans, you can tell you that the partaking of a lot of great food and drinking wine can be done in like a sacred ceremony. They certainly do over here. Am I right, girl? Yes. Okay, 1 second. So if you combine all these things together, you're basically looking at an elaborate pagan prosperity ritual. All right, you gather up your lucky money herb, you surround yourself in green that represents prosperity and abundance. You call upon the help of a fairy creature that you want to lead you to his gold, and then finally you feast and drink in abundance as though you already are wealthy. That is a prosperity ritual if I have ever heard one.
It is true. So, here's the question. Is it pagan to celebrate the erasure of paganism if you're celebrating it as a pagan ritual? Is that pagan? Are we bad pagans?
I mean, probably.
Well, I am a witch and I don't care. So, there's that.
And see, I believe in the ability to reclaim literally anything. So I think, why not? Do I want to appropriate this cultural tradition from Irish people, a group that I am not a part of? No. However, this tradition has evolved into something that's basically part of the American melting pot that is available to anyone, either of Irish heritage or not. And that's one of the great things about our country, is that awesome traditions that appeal to all sorts of people can be shared among everyone. So I say, hell yeah, if you love St. Patrick's Day, like I do, then celebrate it as a pagan anyway. It's what your pagan ancestors who watched their friends convert to Christians would want you to do.
They would want you to celebrate that and kind of turn that tradition on its ear and be like, listen, let's celebrate Irish culture and Irish heritage, and let's be a part of that. Let's remove the ties that bind us to our own simple patriotism and try to experience the world through the lens and eyes of another, you know? Or whatever.
And finally, let's acknowledge that no matter what culture we're from, no matter what religion we are from, there are elements of the human experience that we all find value in. And these are not things that we need to fight over. These are things that we need to find common ground with and celebrate the fact that no matter what kind of labels separate us, we are still so similar. I mean, that's awesome.
And truthfully, the best thing to do with abundance is to share it.
Absolutely.
You don't want to hoard all the good feelings, so...
Or all the money, Betsy. And speaking of sharing abundance, I do want to highlight one other thing that this holiday represents that I think should be valuable to pagans, but also everyone, and that is all of the great things that immigrants have brought to our country and still continue to bring to this country.
Yeah, thanks, immigrants.
Thank you. Seriously, you're awesome. David.
Yeah.
I want what that cat is having.
Oh, I want that.
Okay. Oh. Wow. So what we're saying is, if you don't love St. Patrick's Day because of its history and you don't want to celebrate it, then honey, like totally don't, and we get it. But if you are still crazy about these fabulous green traditions and you want to celebrate it as a pagan, honey, it makes perfect sense. So many of these things are so pagan, especially if you interpret them that way. And really, I mean, haven't tons of pagan traditions survived within Christian and Catholic rituals?
I would say the majority of them actually have, or at least been appropriated by other traditions, so yeah.
We're talking Christmas trees, Easter eggs, all sorts of stuff like that. And you know what? We don't want to fight over who started it or who it belongs to. Like, whatever. Everyone can find value in these things. So why does it matter what religion you are? Celebrate holidays that make you feel good about yourself, that bring you closer to your family, and just let you have a good time.
Yeah.
Okay? And St. Patrick's Day is about having a good time.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah.
Anything that can help you spark a connection with another person is something to be celebrated, I think.
Yeah,
Honestly.
definitely.
So, like, revel. Enjoy your life.
Why did we do that? But if you can't deal with calling it St. Patrick's Day because of all the mildly oppressive history associated with it, well, let's just call it something else. People celebrate the same holidays by different names all the time. What else could we call St. Patrick's Day?
How about something like Irish Cultural Heritage Day?
I mean, yeah, that's beautiful. I just like something like Luck Day.
You would. You're like, Luck Day, Green Day, Rainbow Day.
Well, it can't be Green Day. That's a band.
It can be a day, too.
Side note, I love Rainbow Day. That's hella gay. Let's do it.
Like, Abundance Day.
Yeah, Leprechaun Day. No.
That seems insensitive.
No, it's really terrible.
So, like, call it whatever you want, celebrate however you want, or not. But, like, don't get angry at people for trying to have a good time.
David, you, like, drove that home perfectly.
Thank you. Yes.
So what about you, witches? What do you want to call St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, and, like, also, how do you celebrate? And I'm asking as a friend, actually, because I have no idea how to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Please educate my simple friend in the comments, okay?
Thanks in advance.
And totally don't forget to like and subscribe if you love this video.
Yeah, and like, here's the thing. If you didn't like the video, you should still like and subscribe because we are really cool.
Seriously, where else are you gonna get these sick looks? Am I right? Freaking look at me. Yeah. Okay, bye.
No, you're weirder than normal. You're like,
well, look at me.
Okay, the weirdness that I'm sensing from you has nothing to do with your stupid outfit.
I love my outfit.
I know you're
gonna wear it to work. It's disgusting.
Is it because my eyeliner is creasing?